Welcome back. I have a little comparison video. I have two safety check CZP01s. Both have been sent in to have professional trigger jobs done. On this side, the nice green one, we have a full trigger job done by Automatic Accuracy. That is the Matt Minks company. On this side, this P01 was sent to Cajun Gun Works and had their pro package. Received this one in a trade. I have heard of Automatic Accuracy. I knew who Matt Minks was, but I had no experience with any of their work, any of their products. I didn't really know what to expect, and it was a little surprising because on the outside, it looks kind of like just a plain run-of-the-mill P01, other than the color. No special hammer, normal trigger. Nothing really stood out of the ordinary. And then compare that to, say, the Pro package plus a couple other little touch-ups. I really didn't know what to expect with Automatic Accuracy package. I actually did contact them. I sent them an email asking them little details, and actually got a message back from Matt Minks himself. He basically said that they modify the hammer sear, the hammer strut, sear cage, fire pin block. They do change the mainspring. They change out the trigger break points. Basically, the only thing they really add to this, unless you request extra, is the mainspring. They will do just about anything you want as far as firing pins, extended firing pins, anything you want. But that's in what they call their standard package, which is a full trigger job. And so what I figured out, I've taken this apart trying to look and see what they did, kind of do my amateur reverse engineering to see kind of what they did. And it's very, very subtle, but they basically have found a way to make this perform like a high dollar package with a lot of expensive parts, but they've done it all through basically engineering, modification of the parts, and they found a way, say, the regular hammer, they've changed the way it looks like to me, the way it locks at the locking point. They've changed the way to make it perform basically like a competition hammer or race hammer, but it's still the same hammer. And same thing with the reset and everything else. It just performs like it's had a lot of expensive parts put into it, but it's basically got, basically all stock parts. They just put a lot of labor intensive work into it, and this shows that they got people who know what they're doing that were able to make the gun perform at a high level. The Cajun Gun Works Pro package, I'm more familiar with it. I order a lot of their kits and put some of their stuff in. I can do a lot of the basic stuff. I put in the SRS kits, the short reset systems, the hammers and hammer pins, basic stuff like that. I can't do any of the fine tuning and the polishing to the expert levels that they do, but I have been able to put those in a couple of my guns. My PCR has that exact same thing that I just mentioned. It doesn't have the full Pro package, but it's got a lot of nice little upgrades. And this gun right here was the gun that I was going to do the comparison to the Automatic Accuracy package, because I said, well, this has a lot of upgrades, but it's not a full Pro package, so that's probably going to be a more fair comparison to the Automatic Accuracy, because it really doesn't have any parts. And I said, it's probably going to be more fair. But the more I got to comparing them and shooting them, I was like, the work they've done to their packages is pretty exceptional. And I said, it might not be a fair comparison. I may be selling these guys short if I just compare them to the, just the halfway, kits that I put in there. And so I decided it was probably best just to compare them to the full pro package, and both are exceptional. And there is, a nice little price tag to be paid for this as well, but you can determine what your needs are, and decide how much money you want to spend on things. And I can say both of these perform very, very similar. They look a lot different. This has a lot more parts that have been added, a lot of custom parts. This has virtually, no parts that I can really tell. I just see, I know he changed the spring, but I can't really tell a whole lot different than that. We'll do a couple of little things. It all comes down to the trigger. And again, this has been safety checked. I have a snap cap in both of these. And nothing really, stands out on this. You'd never even know anything's been done to this until you pull the trigger. But once you do pull the trigger, and if I could disguise this hammer, I can't tell you the difference between this and probably having that Pro package in there. They are both that good. And it's hard to tell, but if you're used to how the normal hammer cocks back and fires, the way these the race hammers on the Pro packages cock back and they have that short snap, and they compare, especially the single action, to maybe a 1911 style. This has just a normal hammer, but I don't know if you can really tell by looking at it, but it has that similar little snap back that the race hammers have, but it's the same ordinary hammer. It's just been modified. And then at the single action, super crisp. The smoothness of that trigger is exceptional. I do have the 13-pound hammer spring in both guns, trying to make it, as even as I could. But there's like almost no grit in that trigger. It is super smooth. I was very surprised. And they've done just about everything I would get in that Pro package. Let's go with my snap cap. Okay. Let's see if I can capture that reset for you. So very impressive. Like I said, you wouldn't even know anything had really been done to that. But inside, it is a Cadillac. Same with the Cajun Gun Works. Exceptional work, exceptional. I'm going to place another order for some more parts for those guys. But you look at this, of all the tinkering and, the little jazzing up of the gun that I've done, and it performs exceptionally. I've pretty much custom-made, tailor-made this to exactly what I want in a gun. I've done pretty much everything. And again, safety checked, have snap cap in here. It's very hard to tell a difference in the smoothness and the pull. And then single action, you watch that race hammer, it's actually a ring hammer, same function. You watch how it snaps back, kind of like I was trying to show you on the other one. This is what this is designed up. The whole lockup is different than the standard trigger CZ puts on there, but you see how it just has that nice little snap at the end. Instead of going back all the way back, it just nice and snaps. Very similar to what they've been able to perform on that automatic accuracy job that they did. Very crisp. If I had to say, I would say single action is still a little bit better on this full kit, but not by much. We'll get a little comparison. Come on. All right. Hammer all the way down. It's actually a little wider. We'll do that again. Okay. 6.36. Get a couple more. 6.7. A little bit lighter on that one. 5.11. Do one more. All right. Right at 6. Trying to get average. Sometimes we'll match the average, but right at 6. So we'll do the single action. .9. .4, almost 2.5. Do one more. .5 again, and it is a nice crisp single action. Let's see if I can show you that again, the way it snaps back. If you're familiar with the regular hammer, it's a little bit different, much nicer. So now we'll try it on this one. Clear it out. Okay. Didn't get that good. I can tell when it's way, way off. I know when I messed up. Okay, yeah, still a little bit low. 5.9. Got them about right now. Have to get it just right to, yeah, still a little too. There we go. I can tell when they're about 1.5 pounds off. I didn't get the pull right, so that's why I did it over. And that brings another thing. A lot of people talking about how they did these pulls. It's not the most accurate. This is the cheaper version of this. I can usually get it pretty close to what factory recommends on their stock guns, and so I know about when I'm performing it right. But I have seen a lot of people make comments, so why don't people measure the pull down lower on the trigger? And a lot of people say, yeah, why don't they do that? And the reason is, if you compare it to a stock trigger and you're hitting low, you see what happens when you hit it low. You get really low trigger pulls, and they won't match up to your what the factory is saying you're going to get. So that's why I did that. And also, I did see a video kind of hurt me a little bit. There was someone comparing trigger work to non-trigger work, and they were jerking the trigger with this. And I'll show you what happens when you jerk the trigger with this really fast. Here's what happens with that. Wow, I got a 1 pound double action trigger pull. When you see people do that, they're trying to manipulate the trigger. Like I said, when I know I messed up when I'm at 1.5 pounds, I know it didn't take right. So I'll do them over that way. But when you see people doing this, you know, they're either totally don't know how to use it, which I know it's probably not true because you can see other videos where they're doing it right when they want to, But when they're trying to skewer some results, if you see videos of them, they're doing that, you know, or even you don't even have to do it quite that dramatic. You know, it still get me super low results. But just really, really nice trigger works on both of these. Yeah, really nice. Just really amazed with what they've done to this, the automatic accuracy, for not really having any parts. I know I keep saying that. Yep. It was under 2 pounds. Try it again. Okay. Just really, really nice pulls. Single action. I think the Cajun Gun Works does have it beat a little bit, but not much. Not when you consider you have no parts. You just don't have anything. So let's see. This is just amazing work that they've done. I'll do that one again. That's pretty light. But it usually gets around 2 pounds. Maybe just over 2 pounds sometimes. Yeah, right at 2 pounds. Try it again. I'm trying to get some a little heavier. But yeah, they're all hitting right at 2 pounds. Yeah, under 2 pounds. Yeah. Wow, way under 2 pounds. But that's just, you know, it's just exceptional. I show people this gun. They dry fire it a couple of times. They go out and shoot it, and they really can't believe that that is as nice as it is. But it has had a lot of parts. It had professionals doing everything they can do to make it work with those expensive parts, and virtually no parts, just ingenuity, craftsmanship, expertise. And they make this run like, you know, Cadillac. If you like Cadillacs, that's a good thing. And it's not one of those things I can really pick a winner, because, you know, this does have, the Cajun one does have more money in it, and I think it does perform a little bit better, but not as much as I thought it was going to be. I really was going to compare it to my PCR, and I don't think it's a fair comparison. Single action on this is better than on my PCR with the parts that I told you to put in it. It was about, you know, about a pound difference, and as far as that smooth, nice, crisp, they were about the same. So thumbs way up for both. I know most people know about the Cajun Gun Works, and they know to go to, you know, CZ Custom, but maybe if there's people out there like me that didn't know about automatic accuracy that much, and you want to check them out, I mean, this is just their standard package, which is a full trigger job, but, you know, they can add all that other stuff on there too. And if I had a little bit more of that on there, it would be a nice little comparison to do with that. But as is, exceptional work, both companies. I wouldn't hesitate to do business with either one of them. I obviously have, but very impressed with Matt Mink and his company, and also the Cajuns. Not disrespecting either one. I've been in love with this company, and now I've got a whole new respect for this one. And I honestly can't wait to do a little bit more business with them, just to check them out. But if you get a chance and you want to try something a little different, maybe check out either one. I don't want to endorse either one of them. I like both of them. They're both amazing. I'm just kind of in awe of how good you can do with just some workmanship. You know, I don't have that kind of talent. I wish I did. But two great companies, outstanding work. Thanks for watching my video. Appreciate it.